This chat was supposed to be a video chat. Pete encountered technical difficulties with his microphone. My laptop decided to crap the bed 10 minutes before showtime, so the entire chat was conducted on my cell phone. I hope you enjoy.
He's the founder and owner of Daigle Autoharps and Folk Instruments. He's world-renowned master luthier of the Autoharp. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming the Penguins Chit Chat, Mr. Pete Daigle.
Yeah.
Hello, Pete. How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Nice sunshine day, 75 degrees. Couldn't be better.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. You know, you actually live in the area of the country that I'm going to spend my final days in.
There's liable to be a crowd because we've got the best climate in the entire country. I don't think there's any doubt.
But it's actually the reason why we wanted to go there is, I mean, my wife feels the same way. We both like, I mean, not that it rains all the time, but we love, drizzly, dreary, rainy weather.
Well, we get a bit of that.
So yeah, somewhere out west in the northwest where we want to, I can't really say retire to, but that's where we want to be.
That sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. This is going to be very laid back and very casual today. So we're going to let the people learn a little bit about you.
Sounds good.
First, let me ask you, your name, is it the way that the French would pronounce it as far as just Daigle?
Yeah. The way we pronounce it is it rhymes with bagel.
Yeah, I remember something from high school.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, it means of the eagle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is why we use the eagle as in our logo.
That's interesting. When it comes to the Autoharp, how long have you been personally playing?
I've been playing since about, about 1979, 1980, but very casually at first.
All right, so around 40 years.
Yeah.
And why did you start playing? I mean, what triggered it?
Well, I played music professionally for years, and but not a stringed instrument. I was a drummer, a dance band, and when I got out of that as a profession, I just needed something that I could go to. It's kind of difficult to invite your friends over to sing some songs and pull out a set of drums, So,
that's true.
So pulling out an Autoharp is a little bit easier. Yeah, my wife was playing already, so it was easy to steal hers and learn how to play it.
Okay. Was she able to give you some pointers?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's a very musical person.
Excellent. Yeah, I wish I had any of that where I grew up in my immediate family. Listening to the radio was the most musical than anybody was.
Well, there's nothing wrong with listening to the radio, but there's nothing like playing music. It's I guess you've been discovering that at least in recent years, eh?
Yes, sir. I've been playing. Well, I played the guitar for 35 years roughly before I started playing the Autoharp.
Uh-huh.
And I actually started playing it because, well, I can't. I had a massive stroke a few years back, and my left hand can't like fret the chord. Can't work right.
Sure.
So
but you're able to get into the Autoharp though.
Well, my fingers work well enough to push the buttons down and to spread out a little bit. And I'm actually getting some Botox injections to help with the flexibility of it. So I'm getting there.
Good. That's great. Yeah, the Autoharp is it's always been a folk instrument, something anybody can get started on. You can get started on an Autoharp easily. a lot easier than getting started on a violin or a guitar. And then you can take it anywhere you want to go. But we cater to players of all levels, professionals and amateurs who only pull it out at Christmas and everything in between.
That's great. That's great. I will go ahead and get into that. How long has Daigle Auto Harps been identity?
Well, the identity of Daigle Auto Harps has been about 20 years now. That's how long we've been building commercially. I started redesigning the auto harp pretty early on. I could see that it could be a lot better instrument. So I started designing a variety of things very early on, but it wasn't building commercially until about right around the year 2000.
Okay. As far as building, is the auto harp the only instrument that you actually build?
That's all that we build commercially. I have built other instruments. In studying lutherie, there's no auto harp school. There's no school to learn to build auto harps, but there's all kinds of instruments out there, and I built some other instruments just studying the lutherie of other instruments and how they would relate to auto harp. With the auto harp in mind, I always had the auto harp in mind as the end goal. But dulcimers, Celtic harps, things of that nature. Studied lutherie from all angles in order to come up with designs that I thought would work.
Do you actually play other instruments?
Well, yeah, I play. I've played keyboard or piano, since very young. I only use that these days for arranging music and that sort of thing. I played drums professionally. That was my main instrument. Played vibes and some marimba and that sort of thing. That was used on stage periodically, and a little bit of keyboard on stage and some harmonica and whatever. Keep the people entertained and keep them dancing.
All right. Talk to us a little bit about the Autoharp Angels and how you became involved with that.
Oh, the Autoharp Angels. That's a good question. The Autoharp Angels, the name came about from a friend of ours, Charmin Smith. She's the one that actually came up with the name. But it kind of was a gradual undertaking. Our friends Kathy Bertel and a few other people were involved in finding auto harps for people in need very, very early on. And since we had a shop and a setup that we could do some work on auto harps and get them up and playable, we decided to kind of become the center of it. And I got a hold of the Mountain Laurel Auto Harp Gathering some years ago now and said, how about if we hook up with you guys and we can be under the auspices of their 501 nonprofit, so that people could deduct their donations and that sort of thing. So now we are under the auspices of the Mountain Laurel Auto Harp Gathering as the Auto Harp Angels. And we've got several people across the country that help out, but most of it's done right here in our shop. People send us an application or get a hold of us, and we help them get an application filled out. And most of them, we build them or not build them. We get an auto harp working that has been donated, and send them out. So yeah, it's been going on for quite a few years now. Started really, awesome. With us, it started with one small child. We were at a festival in Eastern Washington, and the Three Rivers Folk Festival. And this young kid, about 9 years old, hung out in our booth all day long playing the auto harp. He was just absolutely enthralled with it. And we came to meet his parents, obviously. They had to come around eventually, and they kept coming around to check on him. But This kid was from a very poor family. His dad was just recently released from prison, and they didn't have any money. We got his address, and we fixed up the auto harp that actually Polly's first auto harp, and we I think we got a little help from Kathy on that one. I can't remember. Maybe she sent us a book or something and helped out too, Kathy Bertel. Yeah. Anyway, so we sent them this auto harp. We've never heard since how that has come about, but we're assuming that that it went well. He's a grown man now, but regardless, we think that he always has something to look back on that he can feel good about. Uh, yeah, I hope he's doing well today. But that's kind of how it got started, and we've been doing it ever since.
I mean, to give the gift of music to, especially to a child, that's going to be a heartwarming moment there.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yep, we have had disabled vets. We've had people with disabilities of various sorts. We've had people that are just down on their luck and want to continue to play music. There's been just all kinds of folks. The only ones that we turn down are the ones that are involved with an institution. For instance, school teachers. If they're a teacher, we consider that they have reasonable income, and so the Auto Harp Angels isn't really for them. Or if they are groups, religious groups and that sort of thing, that becomes institutionalized, and we could drain the resources very quickly. So, other than that, we're there for people who are just wanting to learn to play and need a hand to get started.
Now, how many harps do you say have been issued?
Oh, I suppose we are averaging maybe a dozen a year, something like that, and it's been going on since, oh shoot, probably 2005 or so. I can't remember, to tell you the truth.
25 years or 20? Excuse me, 15 years.
Yeah,
But that's awesome, man. That's a lot of people that are able to play music that wouldn't have had the opportunity if it wasn't for this organization,
that's exactly right. Yep, absolutely.
and that is wonderful. Pretty
So,
good
what are
for
you
you.
playing on now?
I have an Oscar Schmidt. It's blue,
Oh yeah,
21C. But yeah, I picked that up. I put it on layaway at a music store.
that's my dog walking by,
Oh,
looking for a treat.
he wants to be part of this too, huh?
I think so. Yep.
But they sold this as used. If it was used, it could have been played 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no wear on the felt. The the chrome string cover at the bottom still had the plastic on it.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, I mean, I don't remember. I think I've seen these, new for several $100s, but they had it listed for $200, and I put on layaway. It took about 6 months, but I got it out at the beginning of the month,
Yep. Absolutely. That's great.
and I love it. And
It's a 21 bar, right?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, the 21 bar is what we try to give away whenever we can. We'll often put conversion kits on them because the 21 bar is so much easier to play.
I have found that to be true.
Yeah.
I played a Chrome Harp 15 for, I mean, I haven't even been playing for a year yet. Around Thanksgiving will be a year.
Uh-huh.
But I have found that the 15 chord, I think the shape of the buttons too was just really hard on my fingers with the lack of flexibility that I had.
Yeah. And the other thing is the with the two row system, you have to change your fingering up a little bit for each key. With a 3-row system, you don't have to do that.
Well, the way that I have it, there's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason. It's a little bit systematic, but I have to have chords close enough together that I can reach them, but far enough apart that I don't have that, like, my fingers aren't cramped. I mean, I don't have like one row of majors, one row of minors. That's not how it is, but they're grouped together.
Right.
For example, my top row is like G minor, D minor, D, A, C minor, E minor, B minor. So it's mostly minor. But it's hard to explain. I tried going with like the Brian Bowers for the chords that we shared on that.
Yeah.
And it was difficult. It really was.
Just because of how your fingers are working right now.
Right. And I think once they get even just a little bit better, I'll be able to go and put them, how do I want to say it, in a better and more efficient schedule. Miss Joanne Smith actually sent me a thing based on the chords I had at the time, and there's a few changes, but it actually looks like it may work. And I'm going to, if I can find it here, I'm going to put a picture of that up. But it's like, I guess maybe the terminology may or may not be correct, but I'm special needs.
Right. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. The auto harp is adaptable to all kinds of things. We put out an angel harp one time with just 3 bars on it, and each one had a great big button on it. It was for a kid with cerebral palsy. And he was able to bang down on one big button and play a chord. It was just a 1-4-5. I think it was in C. And it allowed him to play some music.
That's great. I mean, It really is. That's I would love. That's something I want to try to do around where I live, and it's hard. I mean, I do have one kid that lives behind me that I've been letting him use my 15 chord to kind of teach them a little bit. And it's, I mean, he's learning. He doesn't really have any other musical experience, but yeah, I'm enjoying, because I like the family. We get along real well, and just spending time with him because he really wants to learn.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
I'm enjoying it too. I can't even find the PDF file now, but she put it together, and it made a lot of sense to. I'm lost for words here today.
Just to get it set up in a way that you could reach them easier.
Exactly, in a way that it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is one of those days you have to excuse me. I have days where my words just don't want to add up.
I have days like that too.
It's strange, but tell you what, man, you have a stroke, everything changes.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I mean, okay, I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yes, I can. I can see it.
That's what she came up with. The only differences now is I don't have those suspended chords anymore. One of them, it's kind of weird because I know that nobody has this on their Autoharp, but I have a G6 chord.
Oh, yes.
I love the sound of it, but several songs that I
that I'd written 25 years ago on the guitar used that chord. So I said, you know what? I got to have it.
Yep. The G6 is the same as the E minor 7.
Right.
So you can use it in a minor progression or a major progression.
Exactly. And I love the sound of it. It just sounds great. And let's see. I'm trying to think. I don't have the C sharp minor. I have the F sharp minor, but I turned the C sharp minor into a B flat 7, I think it is.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I haven't really tried this setup yet, but I mean, I'll probably do that this weekend and give it a shot because it looks like it could work for me a little bit, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That layout or that style of layout works for lots of people.
How has the pandemic affected your, I guess, orders and sales for Dago Auto Harps?
Well, it has definitely had an effect. We were closed for about 2.5 months. Uh, shop was shop opened up first, and then the store opened up. During that time, we kept our online sales going for parts and accessories, and lots and lots of people were fixing up their instruments because they were home wanting to play music. So that kind of saved us during that period. We sold an awful lot of parts and accessories, and people could keep playing, and we were able to pay our rent. But unfortunately, most of the people in the shop had to stay home. We've got there's one, two, three, four. We have, including myself, 5 of us full time now, and 1 part time person. So we get running pretty strong. We actually produce more auto harps than anybody except for the Korean factory. So we've got a lot to do now. Coming back to work, we've had a backlog which we are working on. So we're plenty busy right now. We are losing some business. We're losing some overseas business that was based on large groups. Those large groups are not meeting anymore, and at least not right now. So that part of the business is looking a little shaky. I don't know how it's going to come out. And we're hoping to be able to keep the crew together because we've got a great group of people. We've got 3 very experienced luthiers, and in Hal, he's coming up and learning all kinds of stuff, and he also is doing a bunch of other things in the shop. So he's very valuable. We don't want to lose anybody. We want to keep this moving. But
Yes, House spoke very highly of everybody there.
well, we've got a great group of people. We really do. I'm proud of the folks we've got working, and the people that have come before them. So it's it's an attractive business if we can keep it moving. There's not a lot of money in lutherie. I don't know if you know that or not. People think, boy, oh boy, $2,600 for an instrument, and they think we're making all kinds of money, but they don't realize that the vast majority of that is put into all kinds of costs that are well beyond our own pocketbooks. But so it's not an easy business, but it's a very, very rewarding business, and we love it.
I was just about to say that exact thing. It's not one of those things that you can pay the bills with it most of the time, but the inner reflection, the inner rewards has to be awesome.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is a very good business to be in. It's helped me get back into the music business, not playing, but in making sure other people can. So I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. Yeah, and right now things are we're going strong. We just have to see where this goes. COVID has changed a lot for a lot of people, and we don't know where we're going to end up. There's just no way to tell, but we're going to fight for every inch of it. That much I can guarantee.
I hear a lot of people saying that, if it's going to take me down, I'm going to go down and fight.
Yeah, you got it.
Now, you may have already said this, and I just don't remember, but I mean, what made you like the final thing deciding I'm going to start building auto harps?
Well, just in playing the auto harp, which I really enjoyed, we started a gospel group. We played at our church every Saturday night. In fact, it was a Catholic church, and we played mostly Protestant gospel music. They called us the Protestant Mass, but we were real successful with it. People loved it, and so it was real enjoyable to be playing, and I was constantly playing around with the instruments, changing them around, kind of like what you're doing now. But the whole time understanding that the instrument could be built better, and in studying how other instruments were built that I really admired, that sounded great. Martin guitars, Gibson mandolins. I mean, there was just lots of instruments that were really sounding great to me, and the auto harp I felt was not there yet. I felt that it had places to go, and I didn't know about the East Coast builders. I knew nothing of George Orthy and Tom Fladmark, Mark Faculty. I had never heard of them when I was starting to build. So it was really a lot of fun designing and getting to know the instrument and getting to know what it could do and what it couldn't do. Auto harps, like every instrument, have some limitations, as everybody knows, but so does every instrument.
Right.
Even a piano, you don't slide the notes on a piano. You don't have a lot of bass in a mandolin. I mean, every instrument has limitations, and they're geared towards what they are, and that's why you have a band and you have a variety of people playing a variety of instruments. They all contribute.
How many different types of auto harps do you manufacture?
Are we building, you mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So right now we have 7 distinct models, and they're all different from each other. It's not just different woods, because we'll use a variety of woods in each model, but we have 7 distinct models of auto harp that we're building.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's the Dago harps, plus the Sparrow harp, which we're building, which is the Evo Bluestein Sparrow harp. Evo is the one who conceived the idea of it, and somebody else built it before us. We completely changed it when we took it over. We redesigned it all together and made it into a better instrument. So, but that's not a Dago model. That's almost like a franchise.
Okay. I interviewed Russ Rentler, and he spoke very highly of the Desert Rose. No, it was Dan.
Oh, Dan Pressler?
Dan Presley, yes, sir.
Yeah.
He never heard very highly of the Desert Rose.
Yeah, the Desert Rose is a great instrument. It really is. It's the biggest bang for your buck in the industry right now. You get an awful lot of instrument for the money.
He said that he plays that. That's one of the main reasons why he doesn't use any finger picks. Is able to just use his fingers. The sound that comes off it is extraordinary.
Yeah. It's got a lot of projection. It's got a lot of deep voice. I build and design toward the deep voice end of things. I like a hearty bass. I like it to move from the bottom on up, and Desert Rose has got all that, and it's got fine tuners. It's got our Mylar spring system. It's got all those bells and whistles at a price tag that really is really is good. And I know it sounds like a lot of money to a lot of people, but boy, for an American-made instrument, it really does the job.
Well, you have to think of it too. I mean, you're playing something that's virtually handmade. It didn't come off of an assembly line where this person put the machine heads in, this person screwed a neck on, along with 500 other models.
Right, you got it.
And there's a lot to be said for that.
Yep, it's just us in the shop. Everybody's got their hand on everything.
I mean, that was going to be a question actually. Like, I'm sure you have people that are specialized in certain areas, but could any given person there like build one from start to finish?
Well, I think that all our luthiers could build them from start to finish, no sweat.
That's awesome. I know that I'm going to try to, you know, the old saying, I'm going to try to save up, but there's things to this that I want. Like, I do want fine tuners. I do want a pickup on it and things like that. Now, let me ask you this: the the quick change that you have, is that uh, like changeable with other auto harps?
No, not really. No, the quick change incorporates spring clips on the bars, the bar caps, and rare earth magnets. So yeah, it's a set that the instrument has to be built for.
Okay,
We do put them on other auto harps. In fact, I'm working on an Oscar Schmidt right now, which will have a set of Daigle auto harp chord bars on it, and they will be quick change. So it can be done on other harps, but it's something that has to be done pretty much in the shop.
right. I mean, how adaptable are like your chord bar, the whole system and everything? I mean, if somebody sent you, in a like a '60s model Oscar Schmidt, I guess A model would have fit on there.
Yeah, yeah. The we have put our bar sets on A model Oscars, old black boxes. Um, we've put them on B models. We put them on chroma harps. And we sell them as kits. We sell our bar sets as kits. That's not the quick change kit, but it's a good kit that anybody that can handle a square and a screwdriver and a drill can install.
Right, that's cool. Um, I think a lot of people they actually try can do more than what they think they can do. I mean, there's people that scared to death to change a belt on an auto
Oh,
harp.
I know. That's why we put out our videos. The deal with the videos that we do, it's in order to show people what's involved, and then they can make the decision: is it something I want to try or not?
Well,
We do this stuff fast because we do it every day. But when someone sits down to do a full string change, they might take all day. They might take all afternoon. Put on some good music. You can do a good job if you're careful. And, you know,
get comfortable.
yeah. For us, it's since we do it so much, it goes fast. In fact, John, who's been working with me forever, he used to hold the record for uh, for stringing an auto harp. I believe that was about 33 minutes, tuned twice. And now Greg Olson, who works here, he's the current champ at stringing an auto harp and tuning it twice in 30 minutes flat.
I think that John was in one of Hal's videos as he was stringing up a new harp,
Yeah, could
and
have been. Yeah.
and he flies, man. That's
Oh yeah.
um, I'm looking to get. I have to see if how do I want to say this? You're getting lost for words. I have a chord bar set that was built by Buck.
Buck Lombard, you
Yes,
bet.
sir. And problem is, I don't know what has happened to it, but like my combs, the prongs are bent. They're not straight at all. I mean, it's
Okay.
not playable.
Ah,
So I got to figure out. I'm unable to, I guess, have the coordination with both my hands to straighten out the teeth on the comb. So I either have to get two more combs that will fit these cord bars, or figure out how to get these straight. Um,
yeah, that's going to be a little tough. Buck is the only one that built the bars just the way he does them. Um, we could do it, but we'd have to change up everything to do it, so it would cost a fortune.
right?
But you can probably, if they are bent, that's what you're saying is the combs are bent.
Yes.
Pair of needle nose pliers and just a lot of patience, you can probably get them straightened out again.
That's what I try to do, and start on one end, and as I do it, put the cord bar back on there to see which ones are going to rub against the other ones. But
Yeah.
it just it became too tedious for my stroke brain mind.
Yep. Yeah.
Try to
I know what
show
you're
you
saying.
this.
Yep. I can see it.
And you know, and both of them are like that. And what was weird is I had to change the felt right away, because they were actually, you could picture a string touching a piece of felt. I mean, it was like pushed through it up to the wood,
Yeah.
like it was a big hole. I mean, it was crazy. And that's actually what I was changing on when I ordered the felt, and it kind of all fell off. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And that's the cord bar set I was changing. So it's
Yeah.
still a
No.
project I'm doing.
Right. That's another problem with Buck Lombard's bars is they're very narrow, so standard felt does not fit them.
I mean, the closest that you're going to get is the 3/16. I mean, I haven't seen any, eighth of an inch felt anywhere, and I don't think it'd be very effective.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a question we get asked periodically, and I don't know anyone who is carrying that kind of felt for the Buck Lombard bars, which is kind of too bad. He built quite a few bar sets for folks, and for him it was a little extra income and more a hobby, so he could do it a lot cheaper than we can. We've got to support actual, people living in their houses and paying their rent and light bills. So it's like an obligation to be able to keep enough money coming in to be able to do that. So our stuff is going to cost more. There's no doubt about it. He built bars for people that worked well and did whatever they needed to do at a better price than really anybody like myself could come up with.
Right. And I was told that when he retired, was it Greg that bought his inventory?
Yeah, he's in his mid to upper 80s. I haven't talked to him in quite a while. So yeah, he deserved to retire.
Now, tell me a little bit about how you, I guess, became involved and took over the Autoharp quarterly.
Well, that kind of came about. My son was in school at the time in journalism, and he was doing a lot of formatting of magazines and newspapers, that sort of thing. I saw Marianne Johnston all the time at festivals, and I just told her one day, if you ever think about giving up the Autoharp Quarterly, let us know. And one day she gave me a call and said, "Well, would you like to take it over?" So we did.
Oh, interesting. How many years have you been doing that?
That was 2009. Spring of 2009 was the first issue that we put out.
All right.
And Keith has done a fabulous job with it. He's brought it into the 21st century in format and look and style, and all the volunteers we've got. There's no money in the Autoharp Quarterly. It's in fact, I think Marianne was losing quite a bit and couldn't afford to keep it anymore. But it keeps us kind of at the center of the auto harp world, which is a good thing. And if we can keep it almost paying for itself, then I guess we're doing okay with it. And like I say, it's the volunteers have just been wonderful. We've got a fabulous staff of volunteers, writing articles, doing music, all kinds of stuff. And Keith is doing a great job of putting it all together. So it's good for us.
It's all electronic, correct?
Yeah, no, we do a paper magazine still.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that, I guess.
Yeah, it's we do a paper version and a digital version. Some people get both. Many people get just the paper, many just the digital.
Do you foresee it going to strictly digital?
That is anybody's guess. We're actually at a crossroads right now where we're going to have to raise the prices because it's losing too much money. So we'll have to see how people react to that. If people can afford to pay for the Auto Harp Quarterly, then it could easily continue to move on as a paper version. Yeah, otherwise, maybe not. And whether it would survive in just the digital form, I don't know. We've got an awful lot of patrons who are getting up in age, and they really would rather have the paper version. So it will depend. It's like everything else in life. You don't know where it's going to go. You do your best and you move forward.
That's all we can do. That's all we can do. And I asked a question about it on digital, but if we could foresee the future, we'll know exactly when this virus is going to end and plan accordingly.
There you go.
Plan accordingly. Well,
the digital
is there anything else that you?
I was just going to say that the digital is nice in that we can have live songs on it. We can have live links on it. People can just touch a link and go to whatever it is that we've been writing about. So the digital does have some advantages.
I definitely agree with that. Otherwise, you'd have to, throw a CD in with the paper version.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember those days of old guitar magazine and getting some samples on the CD.
Yep.
Now, is there anything that you would like to discuss or talk about?
Oh, I don't know. The auto harp world is a great big world, and we think it's growing, and we think that people like us. We've got Greg Schreiber and John Hollinsworth and Tom Fladmark on the East Coast. We've got a number of people that are up and coming that are going to start building, and the auto harp world is far from being saturated. There's no doubt about that. There are lots of people that are coming into the auto harp world who are going to need decent instruments. What's coming out of Korea right now, unfortunately, is not the greatest. So if people want a good instrument, they're going to be looking at people like us. So we need to keep going, and we hope that people will keep supporting us.
There are two in particular that's in our group. Todd Crowley.
Yeah.
And Bay. Oh, what is his last name? Rob,
yes, Bay, I know who you're talking about.
Bay Allen.
Right. And I've spoken with him a couple of times, I think, over the net. And he's starting to build a few auto harps. I don't know whether he'll get into it, strongly or not. I guess we'll wait and see.
I like the fact that Todd actually has a specific thing that he's, I guess you could say, created with the prism.
Yep.
And the idea behind
Todd has done a lot of things. He's just been very innovative in the auto harp world, as well as somebody who has put together a lot of configurations of auto harps, and He has sold them for good prices. He's given away enough of them. It's he's one of these people that just likes to see the auto harp continue on, and yeah, he's been a central part of it, I think.
I think that's great. And my son is kind of picking out a little bit. I mean, he's only 20, but he plays guitar, bass, keyboards, drums. I mean,
Oh, that's great.
anything like that. But I would love to see him really play the auto harp. I think it's going to be his generation that's going to make it or break it over the next 20 or 30 years. We
Uh-huh.
got to get them interested.
Oh yeah, and there's lots of young people that are getting into the auto harp. That's a big secret for a lot of folks. A lot of folks think they are the last generation of auto harp players, but that's not the case at all. Being in the business, we see the young people a lot. So there's a lot of young folks coming into the auto harp, and they'll be playing it in a lot of different styles, a lot of different ways that are not as traditional for many of them. But that's how music is. It changes with time.
I think that's something that I foresee, and it's pretty much what you just said, is the style of playing, even the technique as far as how you hold it is going to change.
Oh yeah.
And I see that happening with my 10 o'clock train.
Oh, sounds great.
And
Yeah, we're working on another product that we hope uh, will meet some of the needs of the younger generation and the older generation. That's I'll just mention it quickly because I don't have it ready for uh, prime time yet. But we're working on a solid body electric that's going to be pretty cool.
oh, nice. That is interesting. And maybe with in Hal's interview, he said there was something new being worked on, but he wasn't at liberty to discuss.
That was it, and you just got an exclusive there.
A solid body. It almost sounds like we're talking about guitars when you talk like that.
It's
Um,
yeah, it's been done before. That we've got an Oscar Schmidt Lancer here that weighs about 3 tons, I think. I don't know how anybody could have been holding it up and playing on a regular basis. It really is heavy. Ours is not going to be that way.
that's good. That's good. That was something when I switched from the 15 chord to this 21 chord Oscar Schmidt. It feels like it weighs like 3 times as much. It's a very heavy instrument.
Yeah, the and it's not because of the chords. It's because the manufacturer has of the auto harp overseas has been building them heavier and heavier because they never want one to be coming back. They want them to last forever. The problem is they give up a lot for that. Any really nice instrument, nice Martin guitar, nice Dusty Strings harp, uh, they're all built on the edge of collapse, because that's where the sound is. And sometimes you're going to get one back, and you just have to fix it and go back, let it go back on its way. Um, but that is the problem with the overseas instruments, is they are way too heavy.
I thought you were going to say, they were built that heavy so people wouldn't return them because it cost too much.
Oh no, they just the frames have become bigger and bigger. They're trying to keep them from collapsing. There's 800 pounds of compression on it, auto harp, when they're tuned up to tune, and that's a lot of compression. Average acoustic guitar is about 100 pounds. So
I really thought it was higher than that.
Yeah, yeah, they are. There's a lot of compression, so they do have to be built in such a manner that they will hold up. And the majority of them do. But like I say, they are built on that edge because that edge is where the sound is.
Well, somebody knows what they're doing somewhere.
You got
I
it.
think there are others. So let me ask you to leave with I guess, a few words to the future luthiers of of the auto harp? What would your words of advice be to them?
Well, I would start off by saying, giving a shout out to George Orthy, who passed away last
Right.
week. He has been an inspiration to an awful lot of auto harp builders. Um, Tom Fladmark, Greg Schreiber, I think even John Hollinsworth worked through him for a while. I don't think John worked with him directly for very long, if he did, but he inspired a lot of builders over there, and I just want to give him a shout out for that. Yeah, he deserves it as in my opinion, the original fully resonant auto harp. It was built by George. Our harps are completely different. I didn't know he existed when I was designing them, and they on the inside are totally different from what's being built on the East Coast. But I'm not sure about Ken Ellis. His exact um, bracing patterns and such, I'm not really sure about. But mostly the East Coast builders have a specific way of going about it. For myself, it's pretty different. We're more like a Martin guitar on the inside. Not to say that it's better or worse, it's just different. At any rate, for the people coming up, I would say study what is out there now as closely as you can. Too many builders build one auto harp, it collapses in a day or two, and they give up. The auto harp has got a lot to it. So, contact other builders like myself, like Tom and Greg and Ken and all the other guys. And you'll find a friendly group. They're not exactly going to teach you all the ins and outs because they don't have time. They're building. But they'll certainly give you some pointers and suggestions. And you can get inside of their auto harps with a mirror and check them out. Uh, you know, uh, we have actually put our bracing patterns out where everybody can see them. I think that if somebody is paying that much money for an auto harp, they deserve to know what's on the inside. So yeah, that would be my advice. And I would say that the market is open. There's more and more people coming in all the time. We can't keep up. So come on and join us.
Excellent. I think that's great advice for our future manufacturers and hopefully friends.
You got it.
So, well, I do appreciate your time tonight. I apologize it wasn't the most professional thing that I've done, but things happen. I guess is the best way to
Yeah.
put it.
Things happen. I don't know.
Exactly.
They just do.
Exactly. It was kind of like Murphy's Law for me today, though. Uh, anyway, I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man, but I think that our peers are going to love to learn a little bit about you.
Sounds good.
All
Sounds
right,
good.
now, and this will air. I think it's going to noon Sunday is when it's going to open up.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks for your time.
You bet. You bet, Jeff. We'll talk to you soon.
I'm ready. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye bye.
That was Mr. Pete Daigle, Autoharp player, Autoharp luthier, owner-operator of Daigle Autoharps and Folk Instruments. I hope everybody enjoyed this and learned as much as I did. And I want to apologize for my speech throughout this interview because, as we put it here in the house, I was having a bad stroke day. And it was nothing new. I wasn't having a stroke, but it sounded like I was either drunk or having a stroke. But it's all normal and everything is fine. Anyway, but this is Penguin saying, I hope you enjoyed. And I want everybody to be safe. Have a great day. And remember, practice and enjoy.